Hi guys, welcome to SwitchedOn. My name's Paul, and here is another video on the upcoming racing game Grid on the Nintendo Switch. Firstly, just wanted to say a massive thank you for all your support on the videos so far. They've done brilliant for me, and across the 4 videos that I've uploaded so far, done nearly 12,000 views across the 4 of them, so that is really excellent. Appreciate all your views, all your comments. It's really exciting to see everybody looking forward to this game, so thanks once again. With that in mind, the plan from now on is to have daily Grid content from now until at least launch day, and then post launch day I'm thinking of doing a career mode or something for a little while. So if you've got any questions, anything you want to see from the game before it launches, drop them in the comments below and I will do my best to get a video up for you before launch date. So just leave them in the comments and let me know what you want to see. And just finally want to make a quick clarification. I originally said this was a remake of a 2011 game. I think that was the original Grid. This is actually Grid Autosport, came out in 2014 on the PC. So apologies for that. A few people have pulled me up in the comments on that. So just to clarify, it's a remake of the 2014 game. So what I've done is taken some of the most popular questions that have been asked in the comments, and what I've done is put them back to Feral Interactive, our PR contact there, just to see if she can get some answers for us. So I've got some of those. I'm just going to go through them, and I've also picked out a few other questions that have come up just to see if I can give you a bit more of an in-depth answer, or sort of show you actually on the screen what you've been asking. So the first question people have been asking is this game going to get a retail release? Now, I briefly touched on this in my original What Is video, and I just put the question again to Feral just to see if they're going to sort of give it a more positive answer, but the answer is still a no comment. So no comment on a retail release. I have seen rumours on Twitter that there was a retail release rumoured in a few months after launch. So we've had a few games like this released on the Switch, most notably that I can remember anyway was City Skylines, that sort of launched with a digital only with the possibility of a physical in the future, and that did eventually come out a few months after launch. So I would say if you're an avid collector of Switch games, you may get lucky, but I can't guarantee that there will be a retail release. Now obviously the other big question is multiplayer. The game doesn't launch with any multiplayer, it launches as a single player game. Feral have already confirmed that they're working on a multiplayer element, a free update that's going to come down the line. Now I did try to clarify if that's going to be online or local or both. Unfortunately I didn't get a definitive answer. I'm going to chase up again on an answer on that, but just to sort of definitively say there is multiplayer coming in a free update post-launch. Don't know how quickly post-launch it will be. I suspect it's going to be local, at least initially, probably a split screen option. Just thinking technically it's probably the easiest thing to do, rather than sort of implement a full online structure with lobbies and all that kind of thing. So multiplayer is coming, just not sure if it's local, online or both. Future DLC, asked about if there's any DLC packs coming. Apparently the game is going to contain all the DLC that's ever been released for the game, and rather confusingly in that answer I was also told that all DLC will be bundled up into a single purchase. Now whether that means the single purchase of the game, because obviously it's a reasonably high price for the game, $29.99 in the UK, $34.99 in the US, or whether there's going to be a post-launch DLC of all the extra packs. What I'm going to do is throw up on the screen now the iOS version, and these are the packs that come with that, and they're free, I believe. Can't remember actually if I pay for them or not, but these are the ones that could be coming. So again, sorry, it's a slightly confusing answer. I didn't get a definitive answer on that. All that I know is there is some DLC coming. I just don't know whether it's going to be paid or free. The only thing I know for definite that's free is a HD graphics pack. That's already been confirmed. You can get that on iOS as well. Unfortunately, it's not going to be available until launch day, so the 19th when the game is out. You'll be able to get that from the eShop, but unfortunately I can't get it at the moment, just because the way Nintendo systems work, they won't allow the release of any DLC to an unreleased game. So it'd be really interesting to see if the excellent performance in the game so far sticks as it is with those HD graphics, and also obviously how much it improves the look of the game, because it's already quite a nice looking game. There is some sort of low res textures here and there, certainly in the cockpits, could certainly do with a boost. So it'd just be interesting to see where those HD graphics are applied. There's no future patches or no comment on any future patches. So again, possibility of some updates down the line. Nothing confirmed. I would probably on that one, just again from personal experience, probably say there's going to be no future DLC for the game. Just purely because of the age of it. And I'm sure Feral have got better things to be doing, porting other excellent games to the Switch. Now, controller-wise, the game does support GameCube controllers. I did ask Feral if they supported any third-party controllers with analog controls or any of the sort of GameCube rip-off controllers. And the answer I got is Grid Autosport will support any controller supported by the Nintendo Switch. However, the only pad that provides analog input to Grid Autosport from its triggers is the GameCube controller. All other pads, even those with analog triggers, will only provide digital input to the game. So it is only GameCube controllers with analog triggers that will give analog feedback. So I would, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the 8-bit Do controller, is it the Pro Plus controller that's got analog triggers? From the sounds of it, that won't work. So it is purely GameCube controllers only for analog control. I really want to pick one up. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to get it, the cheapest way to get it, how I'm going to hook it up to the system, but I'm really trying hard to get a GameCube controller. Whilst we're on controls, another question I got asked tonight is if you can use single Joy-Con support, and if so, could it be put into the Mario Kart wheel? I've got the Mario Kart wheels. I've not tested them in the wheels, but I have confirmed, looking in the game, hopefully throw that footage up on the screen now, that there is single Joy-Con support. And I've also combined that with motion controls in the game, which also work by tilting my Pro Controller. So what I'm going to do is put all of these little pieces together tomorrow and give you a video showing you the game running using a Mario Kart wheel. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I'll get that up in the morning. Performance-wise, handheld performance. A lot of people are confused about the performance modes in handheld. Just to clarify it, you get the two performance modes that are in docked mode that I showed off in the first video. So you get performance mode and the graphics mode. If you've not seen a comparison video, I'll try and remember to stick a card up in the top corner just so you can have a look at that. But also there's an extra third option, energy saver mode. When you're using handheld, it only shows up when you're playing in handheld mode, and that allows you to play the game. I tried it out, and to be honest, it does downgrade the graphics ever so slightly again from performance mode, but it still looks great on the handheld. And if it's going to save your battery life, let you play longer, no reason not to do it. But just confirm, you do get the performance mode, the graphics mode, both look great on handheld, and you get the extra energy saver mode as well. Another question people have been asking me a lot is, how does it play? If you've not got analog control, people have either been sort of saying it's not worth playing, or just generally questioning how does it play. Personally, I'm a big racing game fan, which is going to sound odd when I say I don't miss the analog triggers, because people will say, how can you be a racing fan and not need analog triggers? Obviously, if you've got a high simulation, or even something like F1 on the bigger consoles, the new F1 games from Codemasters, or a rally racing game, obviously that needs tight analog control. Yes, you need analog control for a racing game. Absolutely, you need analog control. Am I missing it in Grid Autosport? Absolutely not. Having an absolute blast with this game just using digital controls. You can map analog controls to the right stick if you want, like the old Gran Turismo 1 days on the PS1. Used to play that way. But as other people have said in the comments, we've had years of growing up with racing games without analog controls that was super fun. So I wouldn't get hung up on the analog controls. Yes, the game would be better if it had analog controls. If you're that concerned, dig out a GameCube controller. But honestly, I've been playing with like single-seater racers that are really twitchy and really susceptible to sort of putting the power down. Yes, you're on a little bit of a tightrope, but you can learn to control the car. You can tap away at the accelerator to get around tight corners. It works fine. It sounds jank, and people are going to say that's no way to play a game. Honestly, once you've got hands on with it, it's absolutely fine. And it also adds in a level of excitement and suspense as well, because you've really got to be careful, especially in the single seaters, with that acceleration. So it really keeps you focused and alert. The game does have traction control and ABS braking, both of which I would advise, especially if you're new to racing games, to enable, because if you really do hate the digital controls, traction control and ABS braking are really going to help you out there, because obviously you're not going to lock your brakes up when you digitally brake, because you know your brakes are either going to be on or off with the Switch controller. And obviously accelerating out of corners, like I said, can be a bit twitchy when you're tapping away at the accelerate button to get, you know, the power down. Whack on traction control and it's going to help you no end. It's not going to give you, you know, the magic bullet, but it will help you no end. Track wise, people are asking how many tracks are in the game. Again, going to throw it up to the screen. I count 26. Sure, it was 26. All sorts of different tracks. I'll try and make another video again in the week. I will try to have a lap on every track and get that up for you. I think that'd be quite an interesting video. So I will do that. But 26 tracks. Plenty of tracks, plenty of variation, circuits, street tracks, point-to-point races, night races. The only thing that's missing is weather, which is a bit of a shame, but, you know, it's a 5-year-old game. Didn't quite get the weather in the game. Damage, people have been asking me about the damage model. I will stick a video up now of me going headfirst into some barriers, hopefully. But what I will do, again, as one of the videos during this week, is I will show you the damage models on not every car, but every type of car. So touring cars, single seater, endurance cars, street cars, performance cars. I'll stick some up. There's also a demolition derby mode in the game, or derby, which is just basically, you know, smashing the cars up as much as you can. But the damage model was good. It's fine. And in the options, you can have the damage model just be visual only, or you can have it affect performance as well. So if you have a bad crash, can start affecting things like the steering, acceleration, all that kind of thing. Personally, I leave damage off, and it's purely a legacy thing from the iOS version of the game, which was really hard to control, and then it was really frustrating that it was hard to control and you were being punished for crashing as well. I may well switch it on the Switch once I get controls really nailed, because I think, you know, it'd be more realistic. But you do have the option to turn it on and off. If there's one thing, if there's one subtitle this game has, it's options. You can tweak so much in this game to your liking. Control wise, oh my god, I could probably make an hour-long video. Actually, it's quite funny because Feral did actually make a separate video on just the control schemes in the game. So if you haven't seen that, I'll either leave a link to it, or you can dig that out on YouTube from Feral Interactive themselves. But yeah, controller, the amount of customization you got, off the hook. If you've got any more questions, like I said, leave me a comment below. Always be willing to try and find an answer for you, or make a video on something for you. As you've hopefully already seen, I'm pretty quick to respond to comments where I can, usually at a computer most of the day. There is also an AMA on Reddit. I haven't got a link to that yet, but if you subscribe to the /r/Nintendo Switch subreddit, Feral Interactive are doing an AMA, Ask Me Anything question session on the 17th of the month, so a couple of days before launch, and that's going to be at 12 PM Eastern, 5 PM British Standard Time, 9 AM Pacific. So if you go subscribe, if you're not on Reddit, get on Reddit, and then they will normally put up a banner on the top of the subreddit when it's close to being the AMA, so either the day before or on the day, just to remind you that they've got an AMA later that day. They're really good, these AMAs. You can sort of ask the developers directly any questions, and you normally get some really good answers. Sometimes get a giveaway. I don't know if they're doing a giveaway, but some developers do a giveaway, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Right, that's all 10 things, I think, that I wanted to talk about. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Hope it was helpful. Leave me a like below if it was. Thank you very much, and please subscribe if you're new here. And again, hope you've enjoyed my grid content. Have a look around the different things on the playlist. Hopefully give you a good overview at the start of the game, but as I say, there will be grid content daily now for the foreseeable future. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you all later. Bye bye.